assistant engineer.
Hello, hello.
Jason.
It's your girl, Kendell Lanise. Welcome to Conversations with me, Kendell Lanise. For those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, welcome to Conversations. I'm excited about this show today. I want you guys to know I am a life coach. My main objective with anything I do is to truly inspire and uplift. This show is about trials, testimonies, and tribulations in life. In life, you are guaranteed to go through changes, and I would say to consider them blessings. The beauty of your journey is that it's your journey. Everyone has a different story, but we share similar experiences. We can help someone in the midst of telling our stories, then our experiences are not in vain. Sharing stories is a way to free us of the bondage that we keep ourselves in. So I'm really excited about our show today. Without further ado, I know you've seen the ads. I'm sorry if I'm moving crazy. I sprained my back and my neck, so I'm a little robotic today. So please forgive me. I'm in a lot of pain, but the show must go on. So I'm excited. This shining star over here is going to make it better and fun. Forget about my pain. All right. So as you saw the ads, this lady here, anything that you can think of, anything that you can imagine, she has experienced and she has been through it. But for her, he's got the leave out.
Yes.
But she's still here. So that's the blessing of it all, because you probably would have been gone a long time ago. Should have been, really, but you got another plan. Right, try to be, exactly. Her story is about healing herself and in turn healing others just by you listening to all that she's been through. I am happy to say I am Valencia's life coach. So I know a lot of the inside details, but I'm going to let her talk about that. I am her life coach, like I said, but I'm also her cheerleader. I think she's an awesome lady. So without further ado, this is Valencia J. Hey. Right. She is a true example. You know how people say everybody has a story to tell? You got a story to tell. You got a book to tell. You got a mini series.
Well, if you know somebody that can actually write the words down,
yeah, I might
tell them about the words.
I don't know.
And
I
see,
because I'm a coach, so I don't talk about me. It's all about you. So you didn't even know this, but I write. I have books. So yeah, we might have to, and I'm doing that for someone else too. Okay. So to tell her story, yeah, we definitely have to do that. So it's a lot that she doesn't know about me, because I don't know if anyone knows about life coaching. It's truly about the client. It's truly to help the client live their best lives. It's truly about helping the client get through whatever they need to get through, and just to kind of guide them and to help them. So we're really not going to have a life coach session here. I'm really going to let Valencia do a lot of the talking. We're going to start easy. Where you from? Where you live? Where you been? All of that good stuff. Well, don't talk about where you've been, because we don't have time for all of that. But tell the people where you're originally from and where you live now in the area.
I grew up in Baltimore, so my grandparents raised me, and I've been all over. Actually, I am currently in Prince George's County. So my mom is a 2-time second cancer survivor, so I end up moving back with her while she's getting ready to move away. So that's where I'm at now.
Okay, any siblings and all of that?
I have 2 sisters. I'm the baby.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a brother. I don't know where he is. He's in Baltimore somewhere.
Okay. Maybe he's listening to RadioOnFire.com.
We hope. But that's it. I mean, I'm the baby. I'm the one that takes chances on life.
Mm-hmm. And you do. And that you do. We're going to start the show off in a different way. We're not going to talk about your stories just yet. We're not going to talk about what happens. I want to talk about some of the things that you accomplished and some of the things that you've been doing. And tell the people about Pinkies. Tell them about Pinkies. I think that's awesome.
Pinkies is a brow and lash boutique. I do all kinds of waxing. I really focus more on eyebrow waxing. Women that have thyroid issues, that has been through chemo, that can't grow their hair back. I am a licensed stylist and esthetician. I started out doing hair, then I hated hair, did makeup, then started hating makeup, then started doing lashes, hated lashes, and everybody came back and asked me, did I do hair? So after that, I went back into the industry. Every time I tried to quit it, it wouldn't quit me.
Right. So that was something that you were good at, and somewhat when people liked you doing it.
Yeah, I mean, but you got every hairstylist on the corner.
Right.
It's like a meat market.
Right.
You know, and everybody's good, and some of them need to retire. But
that is true.
But
that is true.
At the same time, I found something I love, which was waxing and doing eyebrows.
So how did you fall into the whole waxing and eyebrows, and what makes you love it?
What makes me love it is that we focus on quantity, not quality. And being a woman that has been at your fabulous nail shops for $6.95, you can get your eyebrows waxed, and we walk out with no brows.
Right.
So,
right.
So lately, a lot of women are starting to look at catalogs and magazines and want a different look. With my mom, she kind of inspired me as far as the eyebrow extensions. Is what I learned is hair that's added to the brow. Women that don't have any brows, or we're growing your brows back, and you can add hair to it.
I saw that on the talk show, The Real.
Right.
I saw them doing that with someone, and I never heard of that before.
It originated from London.
Wow.
So it's only one person in LA that's doing it, two in New York, and I'm the one on this side.
Oh, wow. That's big. That's big. So you're cornering that market.
Yeah, I'm trying
and that's what it is about when you're in business, any type of business, is having your niche.
Right.
Having something that no one else has. So that's big. If there's only 3 people doing it in the U.S. and you're one of them,
right.
That's huge.
And I'm African American.
Right.
So a lot of women have come to me, they say when they find me, they're shocked.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, and you're African American. Okay.
That's a great thing, right. I would think, right?
Right, because a lot of us don't focus on that. We focus mainly on hair, and I'm not taking away from the hair scene, but at the same given time, I just want to be a part of something else.
And innovative.
Right, because we don't have to wear a lot of makeup.
Right.
Your
That's very
brows
true.
can tell it all.
That's very true. That's very true. So, don't look at mine right now. I need some work. Don't look at them.
No, we're not looking at
but,
that part.
But so big. I mean, you've been doing big things. You've been on the news.
Yeah, I was on Channel 5
Tell
News.
them.
Channel 5 News in June. Yay. They rushed me so fast. Forgive me, people, if you go back and look at it. It was like 30 seconds, but it was fun.
So what did you do?
Actually, I talked about women trying to put on strip lashes, because some of y'all are challenging.
Right. Because people don't know what they're doing.
Strip lashes is so easy.
Yeah.
Y'all make it seem like it's straight surgery.
But you can't say that because you got on the news, so you got to make it seem like it's difficult.
Yeah, well.
Because if you tell them it's easy, they won't need you.
Yeah, they will. Because some of them just don't have a steady hand. So, I mean, it is what it is. But
so that's big
fun.
For you to get that call to do some of the newscasters.
Well, I got it because of Sean Yancey. I did an event with her a month prior. I didn't think she was going to move so fast to say, I want you on here. So she wants to do another one as far as the eyebrow extensions. And I'm getting ready to learn how to do the semi-permanent eyebrows. It's like tattooing, but it only lasts 8 months.
Okay. All right. So that's big.
Right. So I'm going to learn that next. Yeah.
That's big. Well, congratulations. And you know I'm all about celebrating the small things, the small triumphs, because that's not small. That's major.
It's major.
Own that. Don't just say it like, oh, yeah, I was on the news. That's big.
Well, thank you.
You're one of 3 in the United States that does the extension. What is it called? The eyebrow extensions. That's big.
3D brows.
Right. That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. Celebrate that. I wanted to start the show off that way instead of just saying, okay, she's been through this, she's been through that, she's been through this, because I wanted you to kind of flip it so you can see that you can experience all of these negative things, all of these sad things, but you can turn your life around and you can truly be somebody, because you're already starting with being somebody. You're already somebody when you're born. Right. You're somebody when you're a child, and then the things that people go through. And I always say children see a hard time. The things that people go through, that's what kind of taints you. That's what kind of hurts your spirit. That's what makes you angry. That's what makes you violent, upset, because of the things that you've been through. So that's why I wanted to start that way. Okay, speaking of the things that you've been through, you lived through and survived through some dark times in your life. I'm going to list everything that she's been through, and then we're going to expound on that. Is that cool?
That's cool.
All right. She was raped. She was gang raped several times. She had 5 abortions. She was beat by the cops. She was abused in every kind of way that you can think of. She had weight loss surgery. She was very sexual, very promiscuous. She was bisexual. She was gay. She was straight again. She was married to both a man and a woman at separate times.
Universal.
She's been sexually molested by her uncle and her cousin. Her father didn't give or show her love. She looked for love in older men. She found men in jail that she was trying to connect with. She was an alcoholic to hide her pain. She suffered with low self-esteem. She was a missionary. She was raped by the pastor of a church. She left religion because of the pastor. She was raised in a church but left church because of that, for obvious reasons. She was beat by a man. She was beat by a woman. She had several sexually transmitted diseases at the age of 12. Unprotected sex, therapy. She's been through therapy, life coach. She used to steal cars for a living. That was her way to survive. She was jumped in the 4 horsemen.
That's what I dealt with.
Jumped in, drug addicted family members. Her jaw was broken in 5 places. She was beat with a brick. She was raped by her boyfriend's best friend. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Like I said, sometimes you think you might have had a hard time. Sometimes you may think, oh, you've been through something. I was talking about you indirectly, so I'm glad you're here. I was talking about you indirectly. When I had my Make It Visual event, and a lady was like, oh yeah, I've been through this. And she was basically saying how it's hard to come from certain things when you've experienced certain things. And I was like, listen, I know a lady that's been through hell, to hell and back. Okay, you know, and so it's just a lot of things. Like I said, anything that I can think of, you've been through it, but you're still here. You want to touch on some of the things you've been through. Let's talk about. Let's start early. Let's kind of try to go in order, if you will. Let's start with the molestation. Want to talk about that?
We can talk about that.
All right. So
I grew up in the church. My grandparents raised me. I was a missionary and all that. You know, you walk into church, you're a missionary. Everybody love the kids. There was a particular pastor. We're not gonna get into that because he's resting in peace. But at the
I don't
same
know if
given
he's resting
time,
in peace though. I don't know.
But at the same given time, there was ways that he would touch me. There were things my grandmother didn't know. She was deaf, so a lot of things she really had a lot of respect for this pastor. Mm-hmm. And when you're a child, you go through certain things. You feel that that's what you're supposed to go through. Mm-hmm. I never was one to like to make waves, so I kept quiet. So
how old were you when you were first molested? Not by your pastor yet, not even to that point.
My first true was 12.
And then when you were molested, and that's 12. When you got an STD at 12.
I was 12.
By your uncle or your cousin?
It was by a cousin.
Okay. Have you ever talked to that cousin again? Is that cousin still living?
I don't know. That I don't know.
So at the time, did you know that you were being molested?
No. I just did what I felt was what I was supposed to do.
And what you were guided to do.
That's what I was guided to do. When you know, one thing I'm going to say is that I'm not going to say in your household, whether you have a man in your household, with anybody for your kids. If you have 2 parents or 1 parent, things can still turn out either way.
Oh, I agree.
Everybody thinks a lot of people have a man in the house.
No,
you know that's going to happen.
There's a lot of people in a 2-family that were raised with 2 parents that are jacked up.
Right.
I can count them off now.
I have a client now where
for sure
she came to me the other day and her family doesn't want her to get a job and I asked her a personal question. I asked, did her stepfather ever molest her? And she looked at me in tears and was like, yeah, but there's nothing I can do about that. I can just talk to her and be her friend.
What made you just out the blue ask somebody that?
Because the way that he's acting, he doesn't want her to get a job. He's trying to keep her close.
That
Those
control.
are some of the signs.
Yeah.
It's control.
Yeah.
But your mother, when your mother is not there to believe you, mm-hmm.
So is that something that you experienced? Did you
Yeah,
tell your mother?
believe me.
So
What?
when you mean when your uncle or your
mean,
cousin
that
listened,
never
or
even
with
came
the
out till later in life.
So
I
you
never
talking
even
about
spoke about it. I just thought about talking
recently?
About it just recently.
Yeah, yeah.
And I found out one of my sisters, family member, having her. So I mean, when that happened to me, I felt that's what life was like. I had to do everything. I didn't have. My father was a good man. Let me just put that out there. He was a good man, but he did what he could do, what he grew up with. So. Right. He wasn't that father that protected. So I wanted that father figure. Mm-hmm. So I look for it in other men. Don't make it right, but that's what it was.
Starting at what age?
After 12, I say 14.
So that's when you start.
My oldest boyfriend was, at that time, was 17.
And you were 14?
I was 14.
So was this before, when did the incident happen with your pastor?
That happened before I moved back with my parents. That happened like shortly between 13 and a half.
So what happened exactly? I mean, I know, but I want to, okay.
And he would put his hand up my skirt.
So the pastor was a trusted pastor, and come here,
very
little girl,
pastor,
and we'll sit you on his lap. See, I'm real cautious about stuff like that with kids.
But,
yeah.
Back then, grandparents, they trust.
Go sit on his lap. Right. Yeah, that's Pastor so and so. Right. I'm very leery about that, and it's just like you really gotta, girls. I can't even say parents with little girls because it's happening to little boys too.
Yeah.
So just parents, period. It's not. I mean, I'm not saying I am saying be overly cautious, because you never know. You never, ever, ever know. You go, sit on his lap, or go give Uncle somebody a kiss, or go give Pastor somebody a kiss, and they can have a whole different agenda.
Exactly. Just because he's smiling in your face doesn't mean that's what's happening.
So did you tell anybody that about the pastor?
No.
So at your 13 years old, you just kept that.
I kept it.
So you kept the molestation within. You kept
I got myself together with my cousin's situation. I got me together and got that taken care of. As far as the STD, got that taken care of.
At 12?
Right.
So how did you get that taken care of? Did you know what it was at 12?
No.
Did you know where to go to get it taken care of?
No, I had a lot of older friends at the time, so I would tell them what I felt was going on. And one of my girlfriends, I miss her, so she took me with her, and I went and got medication for that.
And still not telling your parents.
No.
And it's a lot of young people out there. So you started drinking at 12?
I told the bottle. Yeah, why not?
So you started drinking, and that's what, and this is what I'm talking about when I say children have a hard life. Like, you didn't tell anybody, you knew, like, how did you know to self-soothe? Or did you even know that's what it was then?
I started hanging around older people.
Okay. And they were drinking and getting high and all of that. Mm-hmm.
I never smoked.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried once or twice, but it never did anything for me. So I stayed drinking. Mm-hmm. I was the girl I was the fun girl. I had fun.
And you equate fun with the drinking.
Right. Because I was me sober, but I can be more me and speak how I felt when I was drinking.
So were you afraid to speak how you felt any other time?
I mean, people always think you're lying. And that's why I say, when you're a child and you're going through something, people think they don't find it truthful. Oh, he could never do that. Why would he do that?
Right, and I never understand that. I never understand.
You feel
and
guilty.
This is to you parents out there. If your children come to you and confide in you and tell you that something is happening with them,
you need to listen.
Put down the phone, turn the TV off, pay attention to your children. And I think that's why a lot of things happen with children, because people really don't pay attention to their children.
Yeah, but in this day and age now, you're more on the cell phone.
Yeah.
See, when I was growing up, I'm a 70s baby, yes. 41, but at the same given time, back then you had one phone in the house. No call ID.
With the long cord that wrapped
and
around
then you had
everywhere.
The one that was the rotary phone.
Right, yeah. I'm familiar with that. Yeah, absolutely. But, that's still the same. Parents still can be watching their stories on the phone, cooking, not really paying attention. And when I say paying attention to your children, I don't mean that you're in the same house.
Right,
I mean, pay attention to signs. What's happening with you? Why are you quiet? Where are you going? The different moods. what's wrong, what's that mark, knowing your
Absolutely.
children's spirit and knowing what they look like on the outside and seeing the difference. You really got to pay attention to your children, because like you said, you didn't think anybody would believe you anyway.
Right.
So you're suffering at this young age with all of these horrible things happening to you, and you're like by yourself.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't by myself. I had my friends on the street.
No, I'm not talking about the street friends.
But I
I'm
was
talking
alone,
about
but I
right,
was alone.
right.
I was alone. I was alone. You know, you try to live your life and be right. You know, growing up in the church is what everybody wanted that to be, a safe haven.
Right.
And sometimes
And the head of the church violated you.
Right.
So how can you even at that age look at religion the same? Like, how can you? You grow up in the church. You're, taught about faith. You're taught about forgiveness. You're taught about, everything, love one another. And you're taught all of these things that kind of make you a better person or have a guide for you to go by. But then the head of the church, the leader of the church, molest you.
Right. Well, that's what's happening now. The only thing what's getting around so fast.
Oh, for sure.
We have social media.
Yeah, for sure. So being raped, being molested, so
I got a break in between.
I'm not playing with you. We're not laughing this off. No, we're not.
No, but
No.
I did get a break in between.
But you got raped several times, Valencia.
I did.
Several times. You want to talk about one of them? Because we're not going to laugh through this. This is still about healing. It's still me. Still Coach K.
No, it's not when I laugh, it's a laugh of, I'm still here.
I know.
And it's a laugh of, I'm sure somebody on the other end is like, what? Yeah, what?
Mm-hmm.
It has happened. No, I'm not on the news. Thank God for that. But at the same given time, it can, and it has, and it does happen. And you got to be real with it. So you need to listen to your children. I mean, you have some adults that may be listening tonight that went through the same thing and ain't never said a word.
Oh, I'm sure. There are a lot of people out there that have been molested, been raped, been through different types of assaults and abusive situations that haven't told anybody.
Right.
A lot of people are suffering in silence, for sure. So, and I'm gonna get off I'm gonna get off of this in a minute, but I want to talk about being raped by your boyfriend's friend, being raped, gang raped. Tell us an incident with that, and you can whatever instance you want to talk about. We'll talk about that.
Hang around a group of people you feel they're friends. You have a person that you care about. You have a person that they have friends that's their boys, whatever, and they'll say, if you love me, you'll do this.
Mm-hmm. So what were some of the things that they said? If you love me, you do what? Have sex,
or
you keep it real. You can say.
I'm just saying, you have sex and it's between us, or if you really, really love me, you'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have a boyfriend that will act like he's throwing a temper. He got an attitude because you were like, no, because you know in your heart that is not something you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't know any better and you're trying to be a people pleaser, and that's what I was, a people pleaser. You do it. If that's your man, that's what you do.
And that leads me to, because I know we had a conversation, and you were saying there was nothing that you wouldn't do for a man. There's nothing that you wouldn't do, and tell the people why you said that.
Because I feel like you're supposed to give your all. You put yourself last. You take that spot and you just go for it. Anything that needs to happen, anything that he wants to happen, you make it happen, because I didn't know my worth.
Right. And what she's saying is, in conversations that we've had many conversations, but what she said was she would do anything sexually for a man, anything that he asked, anything that he wanted, because she felt that was a way that they would love her. Right. That would be a way that would be something that she can have over another woman, and that would prevent them from cheating.
Right. But it didn't.
But that's what she thought. And like she said, because she didn't know her own worth. She would be guilted into sex. She would be raped. She would be taken advantage of because her self-worth was here.
Right.
She didn't have any. She didn't have any at all. That's why I think it's very important. And plus, sex wasn't what it's supposed to be because you were violated at such a young age. So sex wasn't really the intimate moment that's supposed to be between a man and, you know what I mean?
It's not all roses.
No, it wasn't, because it was already distorted before you can even fall in love and understand what love is and have sex. It was distorted. You were violated as a child. I mean, there's so many children out there that are violated. There's so many parents out there that don't believe their children. And shame on you. And I really believe that if you don't believe your children, I don't care if you think, oh, well, they always make up stories, or they always lie, or they're, I heard something, oh, yeah, think about, I don't know if anybody watches Being Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Did you see the episode where the stepfather raped her? She eventually committed suicide.
Right.
But he was saying, you know, she's bipolar and depressed. You know she's making it up. And some parents will stay with the abuser. That's insanity to me. My child has to tell me one thing and I'm gone, and you better be lucky, or you better be lucky I don't find him on the news or in jail. You know what I mean?
But
because
one thing I want to say is that if you feel that your child is lying, it's because they don't want to hurt you,
and they don't trust their hearts with you. They don't trust you. They don't trust that you will protect them.
Exactly.
That's why if a child doesn't come to you when something is wrong, that's out of fear that you won't believe them and you won't protect them, and they don't feel safe with you. And that's another problem. So if you're a parent and your child doesn't feel safe with you, that's a problem that needs to be addressed.
And even if you don't believe it, just do your own investigation.
Right.
Like slowly just sit back and do your own
investigation. And don't stay with the man. Good grief. I never understand that. That people do it. People do it all the time. We know that.
Because it's our self-worth.
We know that.
We don't have self-worth.
And we're talking about self-worth. You had liposuction. No, I'm sorry. You had the whole weight loss surgery, the sleeve. So talk about that. Tell the people what a sleeve is for those of the.
It's not like the gastric bypass, but it's similar to the same family. They just cut a portion of your stomach out, and you can't eat everything that you want to eat on a table. So you're gonna lose weight. It helps you be healthy. My main objective to do it was to be healthy. Because my dad got very, very sick. It's a lot of diabetes and heart issues that's in my family.
So we're gonna keep it real. Let's talk about it. Don't be a hostage to your past. Remember?
But when I did do it,
okay.
In my mind, I did it for me to be healthy.
Okay.
But I did it because I felt being smaller would bring me more attention than me being fluffy.
Right.
And it didn't bring me anything but being cold. Because, see, when I was fluffy, I stayed hot all the time. Now I freeze to death. You see me on big sweaters and all this stuff and boots because I'm cold.
The reason why I brought that up is because her self-worth was little to nothing. Right. She didn't feel like that she was worth anything. She felt like she had the light weight loss surgery so she can get more men, so she can be the center of attention, so she can be the attraction. The men's attraction.
I get tired of people saying, "Oh, you're not my type," and at that time, I was married to my wife, so, we both had the surgeries. She had hers I think 6 months after me, but my main goal in my mind was to be healthy. Mm-hmm. That was the main thing. Mm-hmm. But eventually, when I sat back and started really looking at myself, I did it because I wanted to get more attention. Mm-hmm. I wanted to have that relationship, not only with myself, but with my wife, to say, you do still find me attractive. Mm-hmm. I'm not fluffy.
Is that something that she wanted you to do? Is that something that, because you both got it done?
No, it wasn't something she wanted me to do. She followed me after I did it. It was something I felt very strongly to do.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about that. And I want to get into that. You were married to a man.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to talk a little bit about that first? She was married to a man.
I'm universal, guys.
She was married to a woman.
Yes.
And now she's about to, turn the other corner again. I'll just say. So, no, come on now. So let's talk about you married to, I'll let you tell that if that's what you want to tell.
My husband?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm not gonna give his name.
No, you don't have to give his name, but tell me what that relationship.
It was fun.
Okay.
He was fun.
Okay.
When I met him, he protected me. My dad would disrespect me, and he would jump on my dad. And one thing in my relationships, I always wanted to feel safe.
For obvious reasons.
Right. I wanted to always feel safe, and I wanted to be respected. And he gave me that. But it was like, once we got married, it went down, down, and down. Because he wasn't happy with himself, and a lot of things he did just was to follow what his brother did. He got married to me because he wanted to be like his brother, not because he really wanted to get married.
His brother was married and had a family, so he thought that's what you should do.
And he lived his life for his grandmother at the time. That was like his mother. And she was disrespectful to me. We've had massive fights. Like, there was a time, rest his soul, there was a time where I found out that he cheated. And I didn't say any more about it. My grandmother always used to say, you know, just bring the situation up and get quiet. And if it's guilt, they'll bring it back up. And he brought it back up. And I was like, I'm over it. And he was a cop. And he rushed from his job one day. And as he rushed from his job, we got into a house, we was in an apartment at the time. And we got into a fight. And I got tired of him. He took his wedding ring off. He hit me. And I went in the closet and pulled his gun on him.
What happened?
We started getting into massive fights, and I called the police, and the police took me out. And an officer, I can't remember his name, told me to look into the camera and say if anybody ever brings you out to look like this or put you in these type of situations, you don't need to be with them. So
was that the time that you were beat by the cops?
That was the time. Because I wouldn't leave, because I was a bartender at the time. And I was bartending at the time. I came home because before I went to work, he told me he wanted a divorce. Well, everybody knows when you meet your favorite bartender, you can't put your problems on the table. So I went to work, had some shots. People would buy me shots. I would, get drunk while I'm at work. And when I got home, I woke him up, and we got into a massive argument. And PG was on the phone while we were arguing, and they were taking me out. And I ended up fighting the police officers, and they ended up fighting me. And it took one officer to say that he wasn't going to take me to press charges. He took me to the emergency room to act like I had mental issues so I can sit there for 24 hours and detox and get myself together, because he said this relationship wasn't healthy for me.
Okay, so did you return home after that?
To pick my things up.
Okay, so was that when the relationship ended?
Yes.
Was that it?
Yes.
Okay, so with that relationship, it was just toxic all the way around.
It was toxic.
It was every type of abuse you could name. It was what I thought was love.
I like the fact that he
protected you.
And protected
because
me.
As a child, you were violated. You didn't
Right.
have that. So of course, that's common, that you look for somebody to protect you, to make you feel safe. And not only did he do that, and he was a cop. You know what I mean? So you kind of feel like this is my knight in shining armor.
But it really wasn't.
It really wasn't.
It was my nightmare.
Right.
On Elm Street.
And people say this, and I'm not gay. I've never, you know what I'm saying, been with a woman. So you got to help some people explain, because some people don't understand how you go from being married to a man. And this is a no judgment zone, of course. You already know.
I'm okay with that.
But how do you go from being married to a man,
then being with a woman,
and then being with a woman, and then marrying a woman? Is there something? Can somebody make you gay, or can somebody?
That's a title.
Is that the problem? Your problems with your man. Oh, I'm not going to deal with a man anymore. I'm going to deal with a woman. Was it a conscious choice? What was it? Because you were always bisexual, right? Or no?
Mm-mm.
At that point, you weren't. Okay, so what makes you, how does that happen?
I just basically, I took a break. And then after I took that break, I
took a break in between relationships and not dating.
Right, and not dating,
Okay.
just getting into me, learning me. Sometimes I don't put myself in a box, so I don't label myself. A lot of people are like, oh, are you gay, or you straight, or you bi? I'm Valencia. I'm going to be who I am, and who I love at the time is who I love at the time. So you either take it or you don't. I met a young lady. She wasn't no better. Her name is KB. We just going to leave it at that. She wasn't any better. She was mean. I had just had my son. My son's father wasn't around. And then I met KT. And she talked to me. We became friends first. And I think it was just the fact that that time she did make me feel safe. She did take time to talk to me. We had fun together. It was no judgment zone. So it was never set up for me to date her. It was never set up for me to be like, oh, this is who I'm going to be with. I just went along with life. I just took it. She loved me the way that I felt that I needed to be loved, and I ran with it. But sometimes those fairy tales don't always end the way that you want them to, you know.
Because I stepped into your life while you were going through that.
Her. Yeah.
You want to talk about any of that?
She's a good person. Like I said, counseling.
But this is the thing. I'm going to say this. And you do this all the time. Okay. You make excuses for other people hurting you. And you can't do that anymore. You can't. You got to stop doing that. You have to know, even to this day, because even to this day, you don't feel that you're worth it and you deserve more. You don't feel that. Because deep down, you still feel the other way. You can't make excuses for other people's behavior. You can't make excuses for people, what people do to you. And you can't preface it by saying, oh, they're a nice person. Being a nice person has nothing to do with, you know how many nice people abuse and hurt people? Her being a nice person, this is no shade to her, no offense to her, but her being a nice person has nothing to do with what she's done to you. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of try to cover it up all the time, but no, she hurt you.
She hurt me.
In many ways.
She hurt me.
In many ways.
Yeah. Everything, some things we do, gentlemen and ladies and gents. A lot of times we put a lot of expectations on what we would do, and we expect that expectation from that person. Mm-hmm. And it's wrong. In the beginning, I didn't have an expectation of her, and that's why I think it was just so easy and it was so freeing. But when you grow up and you want more, sometimes we can't expect people to do what we would do. If somebody's going to love you hard, or that's how you love somebody, don't expect them to love you the way that you love them. You have to take them for where they are, but you have to get to know them.
Yeah, but you can't allow anybody to treat you any kind of way. Right. You can't do that. Mm-mm. You can't make excuses for other people's behavior, and you have to know. See, that the thing about abuse and the thing about anything, domestic, any type of abuse, you teach people how to treat you. And right. When you allow that, it continues. Had you, stood up for yourself and kind of felt the love that you needed for yourself, it wouldn't have gone as far as it did. But you, like you said, you are a people pleaser. You do try to see the good, which is great. I try to see the good in everybody also. But you can't do that at the expense of you and your heart and your feelings.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So it has nothing to do with her being a good person, but I met you in that situation. And I know your state. And I know how good your heart is. You'll laugh and you'll play, but I know how good your heart is, and I know how good of a person you are. And I know the stuff that you've been through. Right. You know what I mean? So how did that, and I know you don't want to bash anybody, and it's not, the thing is, it's not about anybody but you.
Right.
Right. So what were some of the things that you went through as far as second guessing your self-worth?
What, with her?
Yeah.
Just trying to, because at one point, we both were, I was in a place building the business. She was in a place trying to grow in management. And at the same given time, we grew apart. We both, I'm going to speak of me, the expectations that I wanted more of, I wasn't getting. I ended up being unhappy. I ended up trying to communicate that I was unhappy. But things got redundant. When I say, and women or men, y'all might look at it crazy, when you have, what they call it, mama boys or yeah. She has some things that she needs to deal with that she's trying to deal with. Right. And because she hasn't healed on that end.
And that's the thing, and I tell everybody this even when I coach them or I'm just talking to them. People always talk about, he completes me or she completes me or she makes me whole. You cannot come into any relationship as a half a person.
Right.
It's not a half a person here and a half a person here, and now you become one and you're a whole. You have to be 100% together. And when I say 100% together, I don't mean 100% perfect. But you have to heal your pain, your wounds, your baggage. You have to kind of address, right. You gotta handle your stuff. You gotta take care of you. That's why it's important before you enter any relationship with whomever, you have to get yourself together.
Even if it's counseling, even if it's somebody, you gotta. A lot of people get on there and say,
take baggage.
Yeah, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, counseling doesn't work for everybody." I'm aware of that. I'm very aware of that.
Because you, and we talked about this. A lot of black folks say, "I'm not going to a therapist." Right, I'm going to church.
Right. But when you go to church, who you really sitting down with talking to? You can pray all day long, but he put people on the earth in order to help you. So you have to utilize the people that are here. That's why you have your life coaches. That's why you have your counselors. If your counselor don't work for you, then you can leave. But at the same time, at least try something. Mm-hmm. You know, try to get somebody to hear your pain. Do a journal. You know, write down your thoughts and then go back and revisit your thoughts. And then you'll realize I'm doing the same thing, trying to get a different response, and it's not working. Right. You cannot consistently keep doing the same thing and then expect different things to happen. You just can't.
It's called insanity.
Right. So my thing is, sometimes you have to put yourself as a responsibility to yourself. Right. And if that's what you're not going to do, don't keep calling your friends. Don't keep calling people, wasting their time talking about, well, what do you think I should do? But I love them. And then when you give them that advice, they go back to that situation. So what did you need me for?
See, when people ask for advice, they're not asking to receive and take that advice. They're asking, but they already know what they're going to do anyway.
Right.
They're just trying to see if somebody is going to confirm what they're saying or kind of jump on their bandwagon.
And don't get it wrong, honey, because I do it. I have done it.
Well, yeah, everybody does.
And everybody does. To this day,
but people know what they're going to do. And I tell you this all the time. I commend you because you really want to heal. You really want to be the best version of yourself. Therapy, having a coach, like you really just are really trying to seek healing. And I commend you for that because you have to first own your stuff. You have to know what's happened. You have to learn. You got to own your stuff.
Because a lot of y'all don't own it.
No.
We don't own our stuff.
You want to act like you're perfect. You want to act like you ain't been through nothing, but at home you're crying every night. And that's not a way of living. You can't possibly live your best self when you're just wounded. You're wounded. And the things that keep happening on top of that, you're just picking your wound's getting bigger, and then you're trying to enter a relationship or a friendship or go to a new job. You can't because you're wounded until you acknowledge that I'm not right, something is wrong, I need to go see somebody, I need to pray, I need to go, whatever you need to do for you. Nothing is going to change. You're still going to go home and smile and have fun outside. Everybody thinks you're this wonderful, jolly person. Oh, the happiest person in the office. I guarantee you the happiest person in your office goes home every day crying.
Right.
Or crying in their car before they make it home.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because people, and I'm not saying friendly people and happy people, all of them are miserable, but a lot of people hide that.
Or you may be doing, you do what I did. You stop and go get a few drinks.
Right, right. And a lot of people do. A lot of people, they call that self-soothing. Right. A lot of people go smoke, go drink, have sex, whatever their outlet is, because they want to mask it, or have boyfriend after boyfriend after boyfriend, or girlfriend after girlfriend after girlfriend. Because a lot of people cannot stand in their truth and can't stand to be alone because they're alone with their thoughts. And a lot of people can't do that because there's a lot of pain. I mean, there's not anybody on this earth that hasn't been through anything. It may not be the extent of this person or that person, but until those items, those things are addressed, it's going to show.
Live that life.
No, you can't.
And you're going to keep going through a relationship, and you're going to keep getting the same response from no matter what relationship. I don't care if it's with a man, a woman, a cat, or a dog. You're going to run through the same issue. Either you've been with them 50 years, you've been with them 20. That same issue that you haven't healed from is still going to be there regardless. So you do have to own your truth. And if you don't own the truth and you don't realize this is my truth and this is who I am, or this is where I've been, then you might as well just set yourself up and say, well, when you do get in the next relationship, welcome.
Right.
You got mail.
Right. You went back to AOL. No, but that's real, because you ever have somebody's friendships or relationships and the same thing keeps happening in a different, and you're sitting there wondering why this is happening, because the problem is you.
Right.
Let's put it out there. If you're going through several relationships after relationships and it's not working out, the same thing is happening, then buddy, maybe it's you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't want to admit it's me. A lot of people won't even say my bad, it's my fault, it's me, I apologize, I did that, whatever it is. People don't own their stuff. And I was just, right before I came here, I was listening to the radio, and Kirk Franklin came on his new song, I Want to Be Happy. Yeah. And I was getting ready to turn it off, and it's just a line that he said, truth can hurt you or truth can change you. What will your truth do to you? Right. And I think that that's big, because a lot of people, and that's what my book is about, that's coming out, is really living your best life. And until you acknowledge certain things in your life, you can't possibly live your best life. And a lot of people are walking around here just biding their time. It's almost like waiting to die. People might be like, oh, I ain't waiting to die. But really, what else are you doing?
Yeah, you're taking whatever you get. You know, if you meet the man on the corner store, you already know. If you saw, everybody already knows what type of person they're dealing with after, how they say, you meet the representative.
Oh, for sure.
So at the end of the day, if this person did something, if he told you he was in jail for beating somebody, what makes you think that he is not going to beat you? I'm not saying people can't change, but take time out to get to know what your worth is and what you want. Don't just jump in a relationship because he's telling you everything you want to hear at that time.
So you talking about relationships, I know you said you had relationships with people in jail and all of that, but when you were telling me this, like you were beat by a brick, like what happened? Like, how? Tell me that.
That was my, wow. That's been a minute. I used to do a lot of things. I don't want to get incriminated. Might be having officers listening. I used to live a life like a wild life, and I met someone. He was sweet. He was a father that I didn't have. Mm-hmm.
He was an older guy.
He was an older guy. Mm-hmm. He was a father I didn't have, and he had his temper. Mm-hmm. You know, and my family don't even know about that. But, I mean, they may know tonight if they listening. But I'm not going to give his name out. I'm just going to say T. I made him mad one night. And I tried to do everything right, and nothing I did ever made it right. And we were walking, getting ready to go out, and I think I stepped on his shoe. He was already mad. And it was this house, and you know how they have the little bricks things, and you had the flowers and all that set up. Well, there was a loose brick, and we would always joke about it. I was like, you need to get this brick fixed because it keeps falling. Mm-hmm. Well, it did. It fell in my face. It fell in my face. I made him so mad.
And I always have to change Valencia's verbiage. I have to change the way she talks and tells a story. And that's something that we've been working on, because do you automatically see how she made it her fault? She made it her fault. She made it her fault that she was beat by a brick. I made him mad. I know he was mad. And she does that all the time. And that's something that we're working on to change. We just had this conversation about something else in there. She blames herself. She's still working on her. You see this bold personality, this crazy lady, this life of the party, but I know the other side of her. And she's still dealing with self-esteem issues and self-worth and truly loving herself. And I told her just before the show, stop blaming yourself for other people. And that's what you do. So you already telling the story. Embedded. So let's try to change that story around.
Okay, well, he was mad.
Okay, period. Okay.
And the brick met my face. It broke.
So he hit you with the brick.
He broke my jaw in 4 places. I didn't go home for a couple of weeks. My family they already kind of know I like to stay out. So that's what I did. I stayed out.
Because you didn't want anyone to see. Did you? You went to the hospital.
I mean, yeah, nobody cared. I mean, for what? I mean, you.
What you mean nobody cared?
Nobody cared. When you grow up, all the sisters, we all have different dads.
Mm-hmm.
So when you grow up in a household, you have this man figure in the house. There was actually a time where I've watched my dad fight my sister because we were 5 minutes late coming from a pool. There was actually a time where I tried to protect my mom where he chokehold me and had me against the wall up in the air with one hand. So that's just not something, when you have, like with my ex-husband, my father used to be like, oh, here come your fat wife. It was things that, and then my ex-husband would protect me and be like, you talk about my wife again.
And this is your father saying this.
This is my father. Or he'd be like, what do you want with her? So when you have someone that brought you into this world, or you have someone that you feel that's supposed to love you and hug you up, because I've watched other people's kids and I've watched how their dads were with them. I couldn't get that. He'll be like, if y'all ever need help with homework, I'll help y'all. When it came to me, he'd be in the room all the time. So at the same given time, when you just don't know, I can't go to dad and say, Dad, he not looking at me. He broke my jaw his hands 4 places. On me. Because my thing is, he put his hands on me. So what difference would it have made?
Now that right there, that just gave me a chill. I don't know if you guys heard that. She's saying that her father put his hands on her, not molested, not put her hands on her in love, but choked her.
Right.
Like physically abused her, not a spanking from a parent.
Right.
I mean, abusive.
Right. So why would I
go
to him?
And then if guy does it, your father does it, you're starting to think it's normal.
So like
that's
I would
behavior.
go to other people that I knew, which were other guys, and I would go to them. And they protected me in that particular situation. But what do you think my cost was at the end? What did I have to do? Well, eventually I got to pay the cost.
And what do you mean by that?
Pay the cost is that you got to... Either you're going to do what someone asks you to do, is either lay with them, or you're going to, at that time in my life, steal cars, things that you didn't want to do.
Because you stole cars for a living.
I stole cars for a living, yes. I was very good at it, too. Now, I can't do it.
But you would steal cars, and then they would dismantle them.
Everybody chop shops.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have fun.
So you would watch somebody get out their car.
Yeah, and then we had tow truck drivers at the time, our friends, and we get your stuff. You can talk crap to me all day long. Your car will be towed,
and it will be
done,
never found again.
Right, but see now they have low jack and everything else, so we,
And that was a way that you made your living. That's what you did.
You make your money, and I always kept a job, and I did those type of things too. But it made me fun. I was like people say in LA, they had gangs. Mm-hmm. That was your family.
Yeah.
I had family, but at the same time.
So that was fun to you, and I don't want people to take it the wrong way. It was fun to you, not that you were stealing people's cars, but fun because it was almost like a family.
Yeah.
It was a
family.
unit. That was your family.
Why would I not do what they asked me to do? If something happened to me and I went crying to them, what did they do? They
had your back.
They had my back.
Right. So you felt like if they asked you to steal a car, you like, okay.
Yeah, I made a little money off of it. Why not?
I want to go back because you were talking about, and you said something, you were talking about after your boyfriend broke your jaw in 4 places, you went back. You stayed with him.
Yeah, I stayed with him.
Why do you think you stayed with him?
Because it's what I knew.
So he breaks your jaw. He tells you he's sorry.
He could have did whatever he wanted to do.
You still
blame back
because you blamed yourself.
Yeah, I would have went back.
If I didn't do this, he wouldn't have hit me with that brick.
Mm-hmm.
And you do know that's wrong.
I know.
You do know.
I absolutely know.
How long after did you stay with him? Because I know that wasn't the last time that he put his hands on you.
2 more years.
So you dealt with 2 more years of abuse.
He never did anything to my face anymore.
So explain that.
When you're with someone abusive and they don't want anything to show up or get charges, they'll do stuff to your body. Sometimes they'll punch you in your stomach. Sometimes they'll hit you in the back of your neck. Sometimes you can have hair missing from the back of your neck, or they can beat you with belts, or they can do all that stuff. But I stayed with them for 2 extra years.
So you went from that. I know we talked about you had 5 abortions.
Yeah.
What did you have any by him?
Mm-hmm.
How many?
2.
So why do you think that was the route?
What was I gonna do with a kid? He wasn't gonna stay. What was I gonna do?
See, and it's funny that you say that because you were abused, and a lot of times people think if I have a kid, they will stay.
First of all,
but
I partied too much. I traveled. I can get up and go when I wanted to. I got selfish. I had my own apartment. I could do me. I could have anybody I want over my house. I didn't have to ask permission for nobody to watch no child. I've watched some of my friends have kids. Why would I want that?
Right. So when it happened the first time, you were young.
Yeah.
And that was, you want to talk about that?
We can talk about it.
Okay. So talk about the first time you got an abortion.
I was 14.
You were 14. Who were you pregnant by?
I don't know.
Tell them what you mean by that.
Because I was too busy having fun. The first one wasn't by T. The second one was. And the third one was.
So she was 14 and you were just out there. You were promiscuous.
I was having fun.
You were having fun.
Oh yeah.
And see, and that's what she
Drinking.
says. Is having fun. She was the life of the party because she can drink and she can have sex, and that's what she calls having fun.
Right.
And a lot of people think that. A lot of people think that if you're not loose or you're not drinking or you're not doing this, then you're tight. You don't like to have any fun.
You boring.
And a lot of people, and this is for the young people out there. You don't have to. You don't have to sleep with everybody. You don't have to drink. You don't have to. And if people call you boring and unfun, so what? So what? But when you're dealing with somebody, and you're not the only one, and you know that. It's somebody out there. When you're dealing with somebody with low self-esteem, you're dealing with somebody that doesn't really want to be alone. They don't love themselves. They're willing to do any and everything.
And let me say this, ladies, and men, y'all get it. You got some men out here, too, that's probably going through the same thing. Mm-hmm. People will tell you stuff just so you can do what they want you to do.
Hello. It's a control thing.
So at the same time, if you a person that don't want to get into having sex and that's what you don't want to do, then don't do it. At the same given time, I do not regret anything I did in my life because it made me the woman I am today. Am I still working on a lot of things? Yes. I've had, even though my relationships haven't been the best, but I've been better every time. So never judge a person. Never judge a book by its cover. You need to unfold and read those pages because sometimes you're really looking in the mirror and you're looking at yourself. And
when you really despise what somebody else is doing, you need to look at yourself a little closer because sometimes when people get mad or judge, they're doing the same thing.
You're hiding something.
Exactly. I agree.
You know, so when you see somebody and, you know, don't start questioning, oh, I would never. No, you would. Yes, you would. My way was surviving. And that's how I knew how to survive. Does it make me the best person? No. But at the same given time, I was surviving. So, I mean, don't judge my struggle. Look at yours. Because trust me, I'm sure when you open your book, me and you on the same page. You've either done something, if not the same, you're close to getting to that point. And I'm just here to say you can do better. You do deserve to love yourself. And there are people out there that can love you. And you can be successful. But giving up what's between your legs is not the answer. Period. Point blank. Because every time you let somebody in there, they're taking a part of you and they're tearing you down.
You better tell her, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You better preach. You better preach. That's real.
No,
that's real. That's real. That's real.
Don't let strangers in your house, honey, because ADT ain't gonna always guarantee to go off because you're not gonna have the money to pay the bill. So let's keep that like that.
No, and I agree. A lot of people that do judge, a lot of people that are, some people are not brave enough to tell their stories because they know if they say it out loud, they have to admit it to themselves. And a lot of people aren't. Everybody is not meant to tell everybody, every stranger that they see, their personal story.
That.
You know, that's not what we're saying here. What we're saying is you have to first be real with yourself. If you want to get something out, you need to stand in front of the mirror and admit who you are. Admit your flaws, but still be able to say, I did this, I'm ashamed of this. This happened to me, but guess what? I still love me.
And love your curves. Okay?
Sure.
If you fluffy, stay fluffy. Okay, that's the word. We're not big women. We fluffy women, honey. Because in the wintertime, we are the most wanted thing. Okay? And in the summer, we're wanted too because we give everyone shade, honey. So get your life. If you fluffy, live, be who you are, love your curves. So what, you got a muffin top, child? Somebody else freezing would love to steal your muffin top. So
somebody right now is home rubbing their muffin top right now.
Because it's hot right now, but trust me, in a few days you'll be freezing. And if that heat go out, that muffin top and everything else going to keep you warm.
So I'm about to interpret. I'm about to. It's like the words going across the screen right now. Basically, what she's saying: love yourself, flaws and all. No matter what you look like. Learn to love yourself. We all, I mean, I'm guilty of it. Everybody is when it comes to, oh yeah, maybe I don't like this, maybe I don't like that. But at the end of the day, those things should not stop you from loving who you are.
Right, and let me just say this. Anybody that watch, my friend gets on me, Andre, he gets on me a lot. He doesn't like the shows, but I love them. But one thing I've been watching a lot of is the LA hip-hop or Hollywood.
Okay.
Hip-hop
Hollywood.
Let me say this. Hazel left the show because of things they wanted her to do. And that's
she's not on anymore?
No, she left the show. And the reason she left, it was tweeted. She tweeted it.
Okay.
She's dating Cat Williams.
Yeah.
So she's laughing every day. And I commend her because the thing is, we always...
She's still dating him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
We always try to, if we find this particular man attractive, but he don't like women with curves, so we go and do this. I'm going to be very honest with you. When I lost 190 pounds, I tell my friends
190 pounds. She lost a man. She lost a grown man.
Girl, I lost a couple of cats, dogs, some children.
190 pounds, Valencia. Tell them how much you weighed.
Woo, I was close to your 300 mark, babies. But I was sexy with it. You can check me out on go on my Facebook page. You can check me out now. Okay, but at the same given time.
So why did she say she wasn't going to be on the show?
She said because, you know, a lot of times with those shows, it's all about, it's scripted. Mm-hmm. If you don't fight, and the reason I honestly can say that is because I do have a client that actually is working on a show, and they tell you what to do. Yeah. If a fight is not strong enough, so you stop the fight and you go and do that.
They tell you what to do on reality shows. Get it?
Right, but at the same given time, when you see, I can't think of her name, which is Ray J's boo. She just got all her fat sucked out of her.
Oh, Tiara Marie. You talking about Tiara Marie. But
at the same time, she was already beautiful.
She was beautiful. She's a beautiful girl.
And I'm not saying she's not beautiful because she did that. She did it because that's what she wanted to do.
And a lot of people do that because of the peer pressure. Let's be real. The people on TV, the people in the magazine don't even look like them.
First of all, they're airbrushed.
Right. But so many people want to look like the fine chick, the one, the object of desire, that one, that ideal vision of beauty. And to me, there is no ideal vision of beauty. You're beautiful how you came. And I truly said, God created you. He didn't make any mistakes. If your nose is large, own that. If you got a little fat, you got to own that.
Your nose is large, honey. You just would be my best friend because you'll know where the waffles and the pancakes
are being cooked
20 minutes before I do.
You know what?
So take your nose and just enjoy
But
it.
I mean, and she, you know, even though she's crazy as I don't know what, it makes sense. What she's saying is, it's true. You embrace it and you use whatever you have and you make it work for you. Right. But let's talk about the girl who used to work for BET. Tell that story.
Ooh.
Because that's the whole thing about self-image and self-love.
When she worked for BET. Everybody said, I think they said that she looked like Nicki
Minaj.
Beautiful. She was beautiful. Yeah. And you can read the story. I don't know her name, but she did work for BET. Mm-hmm. Everybody, all her friends was like, oh, you're sexy. And she wanted a bigger butt. She wanted a bigger butt, guys. A bigger butt. I mean, I got a white girl's butt back here, but she wanted a bigger butt. Like when she sit down, she was up to the ceiling type butt. But she was so beautiful. And her mom took her to a doctor that was working out of her basement. And then what happened was that when she got injected, whatever the doctor injected her with, she died and the doctor fled. So they still haven't found that doctor.
Mm-hmm. A young girl.
She was
like
young.
20,
22,
yeah, like no more than 24.
But she was beautiful.
Yeah, she was. But that's the thing. People, this is the thing. And it drives me crazy. And I have 2 daughters and I mentor young girls and I speak to people. You can't be anybody else. Everybody else is taken. You can't be who you think somebody else wants you to be. You have to learn to love yourself how you are. I know you hear it a million times, love yourself, flaws and all, but it's true. You have to learn to love yourself. You need to look in the mirror, strip, butt naked, sitting in front of the mirror, all the dimples, all the bruises, bullet wounds, whatever you got, dimples, pimples, and learn to say, I love me. I love me. Now, there's nothing wrong with working on you to improve yourself, but I would say improve yourself from the inside out. Because I don't care if you got a hot body or you got all of this stuff on the outside. If you're still broken and wounded on the inside, I don't care what you look like on the outside. And that's to the ladies and to the men. You need to work from the inside out. Because no matter what you look like on the outside, you'll look like $1,000,000 if you're confident, if you are... if your self-esteem is up here, or that you have something to say or you have something to offer, you're going to look like $1,000,000. They're not even going to see what you think that they're seeing. And you can't beat yourself up. A lot of people do this, and you do it sometimes too. Beat yourself up before somebody else can beat you up.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be that security.
You do that.
Honey.
No, but you're not. Yeah.
First before you do it.
Right, but you can't beat yourself up. Period.
Well, this
period.
You're right, but just like we have to beat some of these men up. Like, I mean, men, I love you. I mean, big and small and stuff. But I mean, the wife beaters and your halter tops in the summer, we want to stop that.
Why? We tell them to love themselves. If they want to wear a tight wife beater, nobody said you gonna be with them. But if that's what they want to do and they think they got muscles, let them have it.
Don't wear half socks with short pants.
You know what? Or black socks and sandals, but we're not gonna go into that. No, we're not gonna go into that. But yeah, ain't nothing wrong with a man getting their feet done either. But it's just with you. Is there anything else that you want to say? Say, because we're talking. I'll ask this. So okay, so you came to me.
I did
because you wanted a life coach.
Yeah, I found you.
Why?
I stalked her.
Why? Why did you come? Right.
I stalked her.
She did.
Yeah, I did. Police was called and all guys.
But I mean, I always, and
I wanted a life coach to be, because I had counselors.
Okay.
I have one counselor. He's retired. His name is Mr. Watson.
And he still helps you.
And he still helps me. He's the sweetest man I know. And he's the one that knows my dig down dirt. I can go to other counselors, but I always tell them to refer back to him because he can be like, okay, this is not what you're going to do.
Right,
Valencia.
exactly.
This is not what's
right.
A life coach is just something different because in my business, me being an entrepreneur, I want to be a better mom. I have an 11-year-old son. I love him to death. And my thing is I want to do and know his father. Let me just put out, no, his dad is not there. So you can do it by yourself. And you can have, God bless you with people that are angels that can help you along the way. Okay?
I believe God places those people. I agree with that.
And sometimes they may not stay, but they're only there for a season and a reason. So you need to take them and love them when they're there. But back to that, Mr. Watson was a sweetheart, but I just wanted something different because I always rely on him, and it was like when it came to my business, I have an issue now being an entrepreneur as far as timing. I'm trying to just put my life in order, and it's hard because you want to be a best mommy, you want to always be there, you want to be in a million events. You can't do it all.
She came to me to try to help her find some type of balance, to help her really be the best version of herself, and kind of the different steps she needed to go through to start her business. And we were talking about that. That's what we focused on, but we had to go back to come forward because, and a lot of time coaches won't go back to go forward, but to fully understand. And Valencia can't talk without going back. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because you're trying to explain why you're this way. See, everybody is a certain way for a reason.
Right.
It's not because they woke up, like I said at the top, woke up angry, they're mad, they're lazy, they're depressed, they're this. It's not just because. There is a reason. But you said you wanted to build your brand, you wanted to have a better business relationship.
And as you get older, you want to be a better person.
Right, exactly.
Because even though, and hi Kendra, I know you listening. You just text me. I just, my thing is this. I can't be a better mother.
That's right.
And I can't be a better lover or partner no matter who I'm with if I'm not better.
That's right.
So my thing is, we both have faults in our marriages and in our relationship, but I don't want to continue the same habits, whether it's with her or with someone else. Because that, getting older, who wants to keep going to, I don't want to keep going to Citizens Bank and they ain't been around that. I don't want to go to that bank. Don't nobody go to that bank. Everybody go to Bank of America. So sometimes you want to switch some things up. Yes, I'm fun. I love to have fun. And I can be very mean and very demanding at times. And I don't mean it. People that know me know my heart. But a lot of people are not going to take me that way. So I have to find a better balance to be able to express myself where people are not so intimidated or so, don't say nothing to her because she going to go off.
And she knows with her business there are certain ways, and we talked about this, that you have to be, that you have to carry yourself. You still, and I told her this the other day, you still be yourself in who you are, but you have, at the same time, there's a fine line, but you got to be professional. And you gotta be professional, because you can't be on the news talking all crazy. You can't be on the news. We still working, we still working on her.
God ain't done with me yet.
No, and he ain't done with none of us, But it's just because her brand is growing so much. We're trying to work on the person so that when that brand is there and she's shining, she's not going to, I don't even want to, this lack for better words, mess it up or mess up the opportunities because the old junk is still in the way. You know what I'm saying? Because she's moving up. She's like, they're calling her, like I said, on national news. They have her doing different things to promote her business. Like she said, she's 3 of people in the United States that does what she does. So she is growing. She plays a lot and she jokes a lot, but she's about her business. You own your own business, and she's really trying to better herself as a person, as a mother, as a businesswoman, so she can be the best person she can be even in her relationship. And I applaud you, and I tell you this all the time, like I commend you, because she is the type of person that knows something is wrong. Knows something is not completely right. She knows that she needs to feel better about herself. She needs to do the work on herself. And I commend her so much because she's seeking to do that. And there's a lot of people, there's a lot of you out there that want better for yourselves and know that you jacked up on the inside and you're just sitting there. You're not, but she can admit her faults. She can admit, I've never seen somebody, and here we're touching on a lot of different things, but I've had, several sessions with her and personal conversations with her. And she's so ready to just be the same old Valencia, but be a different her, a better version of her. Not with all the baggage, not with all the hurt and the pain. That's never going to go away. But you have to rechannel that in a different way. If you change your language, change your mind, change your thoughts, and move forward. Because we can dwell in the past, but we can't live there. We cannot. And I tell her that all the time. I tell her that all the time. You can dwell in the past, but you can't live there. You can't stay there. You can have your moment, but you got to come back to the future.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you're dealing with people, just take for instance, even though we're adults, sometimes you're still dealing with the child. So when you could be married to that child. That child doesn't even know how to grow up. Why? Because that child hasn't healed.
I just had a session with a lady yesterday, and I said the same exact thing to her. You're
dating the bruised child. You're not dating the adult.
Right.
You're dating the abuse, or you're married to the abused child.
And this is the thing. When you're doing that, when you're trying to get through to, let's just say, an adult that's been abused, used, hurt, pain, gone through everything. When you're talking to that adult and that adult is still hurting, in your mind you're looking at this adult. Yeah. But this adult is a child. The things that they're reacting to, the anger, the frustration, that's the child in them. And that's what you're dealing with until that person heals. Because the thing is, you can't fix anybody. I mean, I love Iyanla, fix my life. She can assist you to fix your life. But ultimately, you have to do the work yourself.
You do.
Somebody can guide you as a coach. I can guide you. I can help you. I can give you all the tools you use. But at the end of the day, if you decide to do what you want to do, you're going to do it. Whether it's what I said or not.
But don't waste people's time. Because at the end of the day, You saying you want this help, but if you're not even utilizing, trust me, it's a lot of work. Okay, nobody feel like writing down your thoughts. That's one thing. Let me tell you about my life coach. All this writing down and sending you emails. So what do you think about? Girl, I don't know what. I don't know. Let me go pull out a bottle of wine because I'm not sure what I'm thinking.
But a lot
about
of that stuff brought up some stuff from the past that you didn't even know about.
Right.
That you addressed.
A lot of stuff was hidden.
Right. A lot of stuff.
And a lot
right.
of times we do that. I cover
you
a
block
lot
it out.
of you block it out. Your brain will shut things down when it doesn't want to deal with the hurt anymore. But then when you get with somebody, you're hurting them because it comes out in a way and then you can't control it because you didn't deal with it. So you just got to be mindful. You got to be careful. You just be real careful and get help.
Yeah.
Pick up a Bible if you can read. If not, they got Braille.
You know
if not,
what?
they got Kindles.
I can't. I can't with her. So we're winding down, but I just let people know why you decided to. And there's a lot more to Valencia. It's a lot to her story. Of course, it's a 1-hour show. We can't go over everything, and a lot of stuff. You know, she's still going through it. Let's just say, like we all are, we're still going through something. But why did you want to come on here to tell your story? Why did you want to come on here to try to help somebody else through your story and sharing your personal business? Because that's not easy to do.
I wanted to help because I didn't have help. Back then, coming up, I didn't have the help. Nobody stopped to ask me anything. I think if we knew then what we know now, and the grandparents and all the parents come out of their shell and realize life has changed, and just stop and say what's going on, and stop being so judgmental. Like, just take the time to hear somebody. I didn't have that. My hear was running the street, you know, just having fun, and that's how I healed. But then I took time out to start getting help because I got tired of the scenario. We don't go and get help because that shows a sign of weakness. When I grew up, you never let the people in your neighborhood know your family has issues. Everybody was so perfect. We're not perfect. Because if we was perfect, we wouldn't have life coaches. We wouldn't have therapists. We wouldn't have psychologists. We wouldn't have none of these things. So, you know, right now, my story, if you're not going through everything, I just want to be able to say, I've been through it. I'm still surviving, and I'm still going through it. But you can heal from it. But you got to open your mouth. You got to say something, and you got to want the help. Because closed mouths don't get fed. So, I mean, I just want to be an inspiration to somebody if it's one person. That's it.
Right. And I said it, and I say it over and over again. I'm very proud of you, and I commend you for your honesty and just being able to reveal who you really are. In spite of everything, you're not worrying about judgment. You're not worrying about shame. You're not worrying about image. You're not worrying about what people may think of you and say. Like, and I just want to be clear with Valencia. She's very good at what she does, and she, you know, plays herself down, and that's still that part that we're working on. Her worth. She's good at what she does. She has her own business, and she's going up and up and up. She's no different from any other business person that you see. I got a blazer on. That don't make that I'm perfect. That don't mean that, oh yeah, I'm up here and I'm better than anybody because this is my show and I'm interviewing her. We all have something. We all have struggles. We all have things that we've gone through. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter what you see, like she said, on the outside. And I don't want anybody to take it, well, oh, yeah, she's a businesswoman. I ain't going to her because she got problems. She going to see a therapist. She's doing that. No, one has nothing to do with the other. Right. And the people that you're seeing now professionally for whatever, they got some dirt. They got some stuff going on. And you just don't know about it. They're not. Exactly. Every therapist has a therapist. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
We stress them out.
Right. They got to go sit on the couch for people like Valencia.
Right. And there's always a bottle of wine sitting behind that couch.
Right. So it's just really just, I don't want what she's been through to take away from her shine as a businesswoman and her talent, because she truly has a gift. And I'm glad that people are starting to recognize that about her. So when you look at your future, and I ask all my guests this, when you look at your future, what does it look like to you?
Sunny and bright.
That's good.
Sunny and bright. And somebody coming to me and say that my story helped them.
See, and that's
somebody's
all
gonna
right.
walk up to me and tell me they're gonna know my name, or they're gonna find me somewhere, and they're gonna instant message me, or they're gonna follow me, and they're gonna say something clicked in them, and I help them, and that right there, that helps me grow. Me telling my story heals me, so hopefully that'll heal you.
Yeah.
So that's it.
And she told me before that I'm never going to be able to get rid of her. She said I'm going to
She's
be her
not.
life coach forever.
For
I was like,
life.
so how many sessions? She was like, oh, you ain't going nowhere. You're my life
Right.
coach forever.
Right.
So we're glued together. And with anything, I got into this business because I truly like to see people come from here to go here, or see the different progressions in a positive way, in people. I love to see that. I love to help somebody realize their talents or their gifts or their truth, and to help them really move along to live their best lives. And I say that a million times. I say it all the time. It's very important to live your best life. And because this time on earth is very precious and it's very short. And don't spend the time just spending the time. You get what I'm saying? Do something productive, work on yourself. The hamster.
Don't be the hamster on the wheel.
Just the hamster on the wheel. And don't let life live you. You truly have to live life. I just want to thank my guest, Ms. Valencia J. Shout out your business. So tell them how they can get in touch with you. If they want the brow extensions.
You can Yelp me.
Tell them the name of your business.
So loud.
Tell them the name of your business.
Pinky's Lash Boutique. And I'm on Facebook. And it's under, if you look me up, it's Valencia J. Pinky's Brow and Lash Boutique. And then I'm on Yelp. I have my reviews and everything on that. You can always book on Vagaro.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter.
Tell them about your commercial on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Check me out on my YouTube, guys. I forgot about that. Mm-hmm. I do have a commercial. You'll hear my Baltimore accent. You'll really hear it there.
She has Baltimore PG mixed together in D.C.
So
Can't you hear all of it?
Yeah, so some people like, today you country, then the next day I'm New York. I don't know. So I'm a little mixed up. Forgive me. But I have the commercial on YouTube, so check it out. And I'm always just looking to meet different people, and you're more than welcome to stop past. I'm in Rockville. I am a mobile service as well, but I'm in Rockville.
She need to come here to hook me up today, but
yeah, she didn't tell me anything.
I know.
But I am mobile as well, so some people can't make it in Rockville. You can just check me out, and we'll set up a time, and I'll come to you. But I'm really easy breezy and love to have fun. So I thank you guys for your time, and peace, love, and hair grease.
You know what? Again, this has been Conversations with Kendell Lanice. You can reach me on livingtruelivingyou.com. Also, check out my YouTube channel, Kendell Lanice. I have a series on there as well. As always, and I always say this, you are a star, so don't let anyone dim your shine. I truly, truly mean that. You are a gift. Keep shining. God bless. Peace.